everyone. Good evening. It is Wednesday. We are live at 5. I just have to say that I can't believe how freaking cold it is out. Now, I know I'm in the Northeast. I'm in the Boston area, and I know that my sister's over in Iowa and Kansas and Michigan. I know I think you guys got the cold weather first, and it's coming up here. It is starting to get brutally, brutally cold here. Like, I woke up this morning, it was 15 degrees. 15 degrees. I'm like, that is just too cold for me, and I'm a northern girl. So I usually like to wait a few minutes before I start, let people get on there. If you're jumping on for the first time, let me know where you're from. I see one viewer, so I see on my back end, I see like 1, 2, 3. Let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're from and what the temperature is today. That's what I would like to know. Let me know where you're from and let me know what the temperature exactly is. Like I said, I woke up this morning and it was 15 degrees out. 15 lovely degrees out. I went to go get my coffee, my iced coffee, because I'm a northern girl. Oh my God, Sydney, you got snow? See, all that stuff's coming towards us. I know it because it's starting to get cold. I cannot believe you got 6 inches of snow in the mountains. That's crazy. Sydney, how have you been? We need to catch up. Sydney was a past client of mine. I hate to say past, but 5 degrees is freaking cold. I know that's coming up here. The wind was howling when I was sitting downstairs, like prepping for this. Hi, Amber. Canada 10, freezing. Yeah, basically the whole continent right now is getting hit with like a cold front. And I know people in Kansas and stuff, they're getting killed out there because they're not used to it being that cold. But in Texas too, I think Texas is getting a freeze. Anyone here from Texas? Sydney's from Florida, so Sydney does not like the cold. Anyone on tonight from Texas, or if you're watching it on the replay, say hi, let me know where you're from, and let me know what the temperature is tonight. That's what we're doing. I'm going to sleep in a sweatshirt, I think. Kelly's from Texas. Kelly, what's the temperature? -10 in Canada, Amber? That's horrid. That's awful. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I hope it warms up really soon for you. Kelly she's in the Austin area, soon to move. Or is it in the Houston area, soon to move to Austin? It's one of the two. Illinois, 24. 24 actually is warm, but it's the wind chill that feels like it's 12. Yeah. No fun, no fun. Like I said, I can hear the wind howling outside, and I'm in Boston. I'm supposed to be used to it, but I'm not really used to the cold. So whether you're joining me on live or on replay, 40 today. 4 to 40? That's crazy, Kelly. How does it go 4 to 40? Someone might think of my husband told me next week it's going to be 60 up here. I'm like, that's crazy. April, Lansing, Michigan, 8. It was 8. April and I had a session today. I had a private session today, and she was telling me how cold it was. It was so cold she was wearing a hat during the private session. So I don't know if that was a style thing because it looks super cute on you, or if that was like, I am cold, it's cold in the house and everywhere thing. Wow, North Carolina is 19. It was 19 this morning. Yeah, it was like 15 this morning. That's the same. That's the same as Boston. That doesn't make sense. You guys are supposed to be warm down there. I don't know what the hell's going on. 39. 39 must feel warm. I would like 39, right? It's gross. 70 degrees before it dropped in the teens. That's just wacky. Wacky how it drops like that. Something's wrong. There's a lot of things wrong with this country, but that's not on this call. Amber, when it hits 8 in Canada, people outside are in sweatshirts. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to sleep in a sweatshirt. Like, it's cold here. It's crazy. Oh, God. But anyways, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Cheryl Hajer. That's Lebanese, if anyone's wondering what kind of last name that is. I founded Sisters Who Scale. I help cleaning business owners learn to hire their dream teams, how to manage them, master the art of selling, get high paying clients, and learn how to execute in your business. I also have a cleaning company, Made Bright. I'm an active owner in it. I work it I'm in the office 5 days a week, every single morning. So sometimes if you're sending me messages and you can't get me right at 8 or 8:30, I'm getting my own teams out for the day. It's called madebright.cleaning. You can find me online. I haven't cleaned. I haven't for a while. I run the business. I took it from zero. Like I said, I was a solo cleaner, a founder. I paid people cash. I've done everything that everyone on this call has done. And I grew it to over 700K, and it's still growing. And I did it in about 4 years. The best part is I did it working 20 hours a week. How? I tell everyone, by putting leverage systems and actionable steps in your business, and then focus on growing. Focus on the things that produce you the best possible results. As a coach, I teach you the same things that I do and that I'm still doing depending on where you're at and where your goals are. Everyone's at a different place. Everyone has a different business model, right? So I work with all types. But I had to talk about this in particular training tonight because all I've been hearing from all my clients is, oh my God, there's so many solo cleaners popping up. I don't know what to do. And everyone is like panicking at the disco about this. So the saturation, there's so many businesses opening up, right? It's all I've been hearing. So I wanted to kind of talk about that and kind of relieve you, and set you guys up on how you actually rise above all that competition in a saturated market, because there's things you can do. Believe it or not, these people are actually going to eventually be pushing clients to your business if your business is set up properly. So do you guys know on average how many people start side cleaning hustles every day? Probably like 5,000 people a day in America. Just because they can clean doesn't mean they can run a business. That is like number one. These are two very different things here. Two very different things, okay? If you want to fail in your cleaning business, I want you to start blaming everyone else for your failure. Yep, that's right. Start blaming all the outside forces. Start blaming the staff. Start blaming the clients. Start blaming the economy. Start blaming everyone else for the failure of your business, okay? I'm going to tell you, you're 100% directly responsible for its failure or its success. So you're going to stop blaming Susie Q on the Facebook thread because she decided to get her hustle on and go clean a few houses and put a few bucks in her pocket. You got to stop blaming those people, okay? And I'm using the word a few. So on average, most solo cleaners can take on in a week 8 to 10 houses max. If they're working Monday through Friday, that's 2 houses a day max. That's it. If they have, let's figure this out. If they have 20 clients and they're doing 10 a week, they're maxed out at 20 clients. Do you know how many people live in this world? Like, there's so many people that live in this world. So, but let's talk about that person. Okay, so we're going to call her Susie Q, for lack of a better word. So Susie Q, she's got her hustle on. She's got 10 houses a week. She's doing 2 houses a day. How is she feeling at the end of the work week? She's feeling like shit because she's exhausted, okay? That's hardly a cleaning business. That's not a cleaning business. That's just a side hustle, all right? So that's very different. And you can tell when they have side hustles because they post their business card or, they post like a very unprofessional looking post looking for business. And it's so amateur. It just screams amateur. So let's talk about what happens to Susie Q. Susie Q gets a few clients. She gets overwhelmed. She doesn't have any systems in place, and we don't have any systems in place. The shit hits the fan, okay? It hits the fan. So now what happens? Susie Q's got a packed schedule. She's got 2 houses a day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, maybe sometimes Saturday. What happens when Susie Q gets sick? She's got to reschedule the client. And what if the client was depending on her to show up? Maybe it was a holiday, maybe it was a birthday party, anniversary party, graduation party, right? Think about that. The client gets annoyed, and if it happens a couple of times, will probably say, you know, I don't need you to come this week. I don't need you to reschedule. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, so now Susie Q's lost that income. She's scheduled on a Monday. She's feeling better on Thursday. Can't do it. Lady said, all set. I cleaned my house myself. Okay, Susie Q just, threw $175 out the window because she was sick and she couldn't do it. Okay, so now if it happens a few times, guess what? That client finds someone else to clean her home, right? And that's when you want to be ready. That's when, professional Susie Q, right? Professional Susie Q wants to have all of her sales packages together, her systems in place. She wants to have the staff that can cover an extra cleaning that comes in, all right? So that's the difference, okay? So here's another one. What happens if that person goes to hire someone without any knowledge of hiring the right person? Susie Q, she says, oh, shit, I gotta hire someone, right? She's gonna hire someone. She finds someone randomly on the side of the road or on Facebook or whatever, a non-professional referral or cousin or friend or whatever, okay? So Susie Q most probably doesn't have a training system in place, and there becomes potential quality issues, right? And they could also not have done the background checks properly. And what if that person steals from the client? They hire this person on the side of the road to clean houses because they're desperate, right? They do a desperate hire. What if that person that they hire steals from the client? That client is going to be looking for a better company, and hopefully that client's not going to be giving Susie Q a bad review, okay? So if you have your crap together, you can stand out from the crowd. And here's the thing, you need to stand out from the crowd and be better than everyone else. So let's talk about how we do that. If you guys want to get a pen, paper, write this down. Okay, how do you stand out? Because you have to stand out in a saturated market, because if you don't stand out and give the perception that you're the best choice, people are going to go with cheaper people, right? There's always going to be someone cheaper out there. And the people that are charging cheap prices, number one, don't value their worth. Number two, aren't paying taxes. Number three, aren't paying insurance. We all know that, right? So you have to show the client that you're the best choice. Okay, how do you do that? The first thing you need to know is you need to know who your client is. Who's your perfect client? Who's your target market? It's the same thing. So you don't know what you don't know. When you're just starting out, you will take any and all clients just to get some money through the door. I know, I've done it. I used to take the most awful clients, most awful, because it's exciting to you. You feel like you're building, and then you'll take on the most outrageous clients. I can do that client. I can do a crime scene. I can do a hazmat. No, you can't. You have to be trained in that, okay? You have to be trained in that stuff. So, for example, you take on really dirty houses or the really big houses, okay, that suck a lot of labor, and labor is your biggest expense. So if you are at 70 or 80% labor after finishing a clean house, your company hasn't made any money. All right, you as an owner most definitely has not made any profit. You're lucky if you've paid the bills. All right, so you need to know your numbers. That's another conversation. I work separately with people on their profits and stuff like that. That's another conversation for another day. So when you're new, you don't realize this until maybe like a year or so has gone by and your company's grows a couple $100,000. You're not getting any sort of a paycheck. You're like, what in the heck is going on here, right? So knowing your target market, the ones that make you the biggest rate of return or a high rate of return is what you need to get tuned into. At the end of the day, it is not about gross. It is about profit. It is about what you're bringing in. It's about keeping your expenses low, okay? So do not compete for these types of jobs when you just have that feeling of, oh my God, I got to compete with these people. There's so many people. I got to get it, right? You don't need to do that. You need to figure out who your perfect client is. You need to figure out how to price your perfect client appropriately. And that's what I do work with people on. And then let the newbies take the shit client. Let them. Let them take the ones that are going to take 17 hours to clean the house, and they're going to end up getting paid like $9 an hour. Don't let them. Don't fight for clients just to fight for clients because you see all these new cleaners popping up. They're not even going to be here in 6 months. So don't even worry about it, right? So here's another example. When a customer says something like, I am willing to pay you $20 an hour for cleaning services in my home, they tell you what they're going to pay you. Not only is this ridiculous, all right, never do this, for one, but if you're running a true cleaning company, you have expenses like insurance, supplies, if you have an office, a staff, okay? You can't do this on $20 an hour. No chance. This is for people who want a side hustle, who want to be pushed around and told what to do. Can you clean my dishes? Can you do my laundry? Can you clean the bottoms of my feet? You know what I mean? That's not for us. That's not for us here. We all on this call, we all respect each other. We respect ourselves, not each other. Well, we respect each other, but we respect ourselves, okay? Not to take on jobs like that. Let the side hustle people go do that, make a few bucks on the side, and get beat up, okay? That's not for you. Because cleaning is hard work. We know this, right? And obviously the customer doesn't want to do it. That's why they're trying to hire someone. But these types of people are not for you. And running a true cleaning business is my tip. Stay away from them, right? Just don't even look. Don't even try and convince them. They have no idea, right? And these people will torture your life and want everything for free, right? They want everything for free. So stay away from them. The hourly wages are so tough because they think you'll do anything within the hour. Oh, you have 15 minutes left. Can you clean the side of my face? Can you clean my shoe? You know what I mean? It's just disrespectful stuff, right? They're not your target market, okay? So as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring this up, and I hope Sydney's still on the call. Sydney was a client of mine for about 7 months, and her and her husband own the business, and they had a client, no word of a lie, and I hope, Sydney, I hope you don't get mad if I tell this story, but she booted the client. They cleaned the client's house, and the lady asked her to put suntan lotion on her back. And I was like, why are you putting suntan lotion on this lady's back? Right? No, we don't do that. The lady was totally rude, totally like not understanding what this was. You know, Sydney has an amazing company called Red Wolf Services. They offer a great service. This isn't Cabana Boy time to put suntan lotion on a lady's back. Oh, you get 5 minutes late? Let's just grab this Bain de Soleil. Let's put this on your back. Like, what are you doing? You don't do that stuff, right? You're offering a service, your business. You're not touching people. But Sydney gave her the boot. Yeah. Sydney finally gave her the boot. So I don't even think she wasn't being paying that much either. So anyways, off sidebar, that just reminded me of that. Don't do stuff like that, right? So many cleaning companies will service like 5 or 6 types of accounts just to make money and have jobs, but it really doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense. So this is where all the frustration builds, because you're doing jobs for the sake of doing jobs, right? And you feel like you're competing with these other companies, even though most of them aren't really companies. They're just people doing side hustles, just making a few bucks, putting cash in their pocket. So you have to find your niche, your target market. Everyone has a little bit of a different target market. Some are the same. Mostly all of us do residential, but some do. I have a client that does hoarders. She absolutely loves hoarders. I have another one that loves crime scenes, right? Different. People just have different things. So you have to find what you want to, have like 2 or 3. You have to make sure your prices are where they're at so you can be profitable, and you can take an owner's draw from that, okay? And that's how you find your target market. Does that make sense? That's a big one, okay? Number 1 is target market. So 2 is having organized systems in place. So show of hands, who here truly feels organized? Say yes. Say I'm organized, just so I know. Just say I'm organized. I'll check in a minute. Or if you feel like you're flying by the seat of your pants, type the word flying. You're either going to type I'm organized or you're going to type flying, okay? Do you have an intake procedure of onboarding a new client, right? Some people do, some people don't. Or do you text them on your personal cell phone to set up their appointments? Who does that? Yeah, I know. I started like that, right? There's probably a few of you on here that do that. So this is what the side hustle people do. They text people on Sunday night when their appointment's on Monday, and then the client says, "Oh, I totally forgot. Can we reschedule?" And then that side hustle person's out of that $150, $175, whatever she's charging her, right? You don't run a business like that, okay? Don't run a business like that. So this is not what established cleaning companies do. They don't text the night before. They aren't at the mercy of the client, right? You have a schedule. They have a system that confirms the client's appointment way in advance. We send a 7-day, then a 3-day, then an on my way. Everyone knows when their appointments are. There's none of this shenanigans that goes on that takes away from your money. So bi-weekly cleans are meant to be every other week. You give them pricing for a service every other week. So why would you let them skip and cancel on you at the last minute, right? You are the business owner. You make the rules. You need to have policies in place where there's charges for last minute cancellations. Otherwise, you're going to get walked on, right? This is what I do. I try and protect you all. You have to have policies in place to protect yourself, to protect your profit, and to protect your staff, because what happens is now your staff gets less hours. It's not fair to everyone, and you're supposed to be the boss, the leader, so you have to have some policies in place. So you can't just wing this organization part. You have to be really organized. So I have a client, when he first started, he would just have pieces of paper with names on them from calls that would come in, okay? He had no system in place for organization, totally scattered. We got him on a CRM. We got him on a scheduling system, which allowed him to see all of his clients at once, right? He took in credit card payments. He never did that before, all through his system. It made him less overwhelmed knowing that there was an organized system, and now he was able to scale from like 80,000 to over 250,000 just by adding systems in place. That's a massive jump, because everything's organized and you can see what you can take on. You can see what days you can work. It's not all up in your head, right? That's a massive jump. That was only in like 6 months, I think. Matthew. So these new cleaners, most of them don't have the systems, okay? So if you have the systems, your clients will like the ease of working with you, and they'll refer you out. So systems, systems, systems. Number 3, you have to have a compelling brand strategy. Your brand strategy needs to be consistent, and you need to have a brand story, all right? You need to have clear, concise message. Your company has to have core values and a mission. You need to have a good story on why you are doing this, because people love stories. They will do business with your company because of your story. There's a million people to choose from. Why is your company better? What's your story? Why are you doing this? Do you have a mission? Why did you start it? Tell the world your story, right? This messaging needs to resonate and call out your specific target market. So when you have different messaging go out on social media, like different colors, and you offer this and that, and you're offering hoarder cleans one week, you're offering deep cleans another week, right? You're confusing everyone. They don't know how to do business with you, okay? So that's not going to make you stand out from your competitor. Your competitor is doing that. Let them keep doing that, right? So many cleaning companies, big or small, send out the same ads all the time. They're inconsistent, they're unprofessional, and they just get mixed with all the other cleaners in your area, which is what you don't want to do. You don't want to get mixed into the crowd. You want to stand out, right? And we know that there are a ton of cleaning companies out there that a client can choose from, especially right now. So you need to know and figure out how to stand out from the crowd to capture that client. This is a huge section in my Drop the Mop and Scale Accelerator program. It covers how to create your brand identity, your messaging, how you can attract your ideal clients, right? And this has to be done consistently over a long period of time. If you want to hit the $1 million mark, you're not going to throw 3 ads up. You're going to throw stuff up all the time and be consistent on what works all the time. I mean, like 70, 80 community group all the time, ladies, all right? So all those new cleaners you see out there won't even be in business in a year because they're not doing all this stuff, okay? They're not doing all this stuff. So you are wasting your energy even being afraid of them, right? This is something mental that's going on with you internally that you need to let go of, right? You need to let go of this scarcity mentality because a scarcity mentality will hold you back. You need to constantly be thinking abundance. Who's looking for my services? You need to believe that you are the best in the area, that you offer a great service with great staff and great quality, and you're a badass, right? You have to have that confidence inside. And so sometimes when you get afraid of the competition, it's because that confidence hasn't been built up yet. Okay, making sense? It could feel built up some days, but then some days you don't feel built up. And you may go, through this roller coaster. But the more you have your systems in place and everything operational is flowing really, really good, your confidence is going to increase. You have to trust me. It'll increase. It's not going to increase when you're texting your client on a Sunday night confirming a Monday appointment from your personal phone. Correct. Right. You shouldn't be talking to clients on Sunday. You need a break. You shouldn't be talking to clients on Saturday. Unless you have Airbnb on the weekends, you shouldn't be talking to any clients unless it's an emergency because you need a break. Because the more clients you have, the more talking you have to do. Trust me, I know. Number 4, everyone's going to get this. Having a staff that can handle the schedule. This is going to separate you from the solo cleaners. So this takes quite a bit of skill. It takes a little bit of time to get good at this, so go easy on yourself. It's always a balancing act, and it's never going to be perfect. Never. You have to have reliable staff. This is the number one thing that will allow you to scale, or it's going to keep you from scaling, okay? You have to have a good sense on how committed your staff is before you start going crazy on getting new accounts, because you can only service so many yourself. Remember I talked about 8 to 10 a week? That's about it. So you have to edge out cautiously. Let's say you go out and get 7 new accounts, and then you have 2 staff members quit on you in the next week. You're suddenly saying, oh shit, what do I do now? And this is real, and this stuff happens all the time. So when you have volatility in your office with your employees, it makes it very difficult to scale. So this is the problem that needs to get first. I always work on this with my clients with their employee issues pretty early in the game so we can work on scaling, okay? This is the game, and you have to have patience for it. It's not going to build itself overnight. Not going to build itself overnight. You're not going to wave that magic wand and be like master hirer, right? So all these new people that just started their cleaning business, they fail miserably at this. You want to know why? Because it's hard. That's why. It's the hardest thing you will ever do. It takes work, and they're out in the field trying to clean all these new clients, and they're taking on, they really can't take on. They don't have time to learn how to master the skill of managing people, and they're just hiring everyone. They're hiring someone with a theft record, that's going to steal in the house, all that stuff. So you conquer over these small companies because you can handle the schedule, because you have your systems in place. You can handle taking on new clients. You have your systems in place. You're very reliable. You communicate really well. You go right after the clients, okay? Learn how to treat your employees, how to train them, how to appreciate them, and how to teach them to appreciate you, because it's a two-way street. Okay, you can't be doing for your employees all the time and not have any stuff coming back. Okay, you have to get them to be loyal to you, and that takes a concentrated effort. That is all the time. Mini cheerleader, right? Mastering this piece of your business will allow you to scale and be ready to take on the business that you are going to get when all these new solo cleaners drop the ball on their existing clients, because that's coming. Trust me. Trust me, that is coming. These people are going to be looking for new companies, and you need to be there in front of them with your perfectly branded logo and services and everything, so you can take them on when they're ready. I mean, I just did a whole bunch of estimates the last couple of weeks. They're all coming from other people, other solo. Oh, they never called me back. Oh, they went back to their country. Oh, they said they were sick and they stopped answering the phone. all the time that happens. That's who these people are, ladies. That's who these people are. So you have to be ready for when this happens. Does that all make sense to you? Let's check in here. Not all solo cleaners. Right. They come to you. Of course they come to you because you have all your systems in place. Team lead, and she seems committed for a while. She says we're the best place she's worked so far. That's awesome. I'm planning to have two full team, but that's so good. That's so good. Hi, Natalia. Making sense, right? Totally, totally. I'm not saying, hi, Sarah, have to have a staff to handle the schedule. I'm not saying every solo cleaner, but if I had to say on average, I probably would say, I mean, definitely 50%. I'd say more like 60 to 70%. 60 to 70% of them won't be in business in 1 year. And it's usually higher. They say it's higher, like 80. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say 60 to 70%. You want to be that company for when the client is no longer with them, that they're looking for another service. Okay, and that is how you conquer the competition. I mean, you can conquer the competition before, like if they see your company first and you have, you have people recommending you, you have a lot of reviews, you have, nice logo, your logo has to be feminine because most of your clients are females or not males. They're females. You're going to have feminine looking logos, things that attract them, right? You have to have all that stuff together. You have to have a lot of stuff together if you want to retain a lot of clients. And it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in 6 months, right? It happens over time, right? It happens over time. So if you learn how to treat your employees, how to train them, how to be loyal to you, they will stay. They will stay with you, right? So a few announcements. I got a couple of cool things. The spring Drop Them Up and Scale Accelerator registration will be opening again shortly. End of the month, starting in February. This is the spring push. I don't know if you ladies realize this, but spring is in 2 months. Even though it feels like the Arctic right now, spring is in 2 months. Spring is our busiest season in the cleaning industry. From March, as soon as we get a couple of warm days, everyone gets spring fever, spring cleaning. From March until June is the busiest time of the year in your business. So that's why I've decided to do this right before the spring to get you all primed up for anyone that needs it. I have 7 spots, only 7. I don't like a big class. I like a smaller class. It's a group program. I like the smaller group so everyone gets individualized attention. So when these 7 spots are reserved, I close the registration and that's it. It'll only be 7. So if you're thinking you're coming out of Christmas and you're coming out of the fog and you're thinking you need help with your hiring, putting your sales packages together to get high paying clients, training your teams, you might want to take a look at this. If you want to get ahead of the crowd, let me know, please. Registration is not open yet. Won't be open up probably for like about a week and a half or so. If you want to get ahead of it, just DM me, send me a message. In other news, I will be launching a YouTube channel. Can you believe it? I've been working on it all fall. And there's going to be all kinds of trainings on there. There's going to be shorts and different things. It's not ready yet, but I will be launching the YouTube channel shortly. Sarah, my community helper, has been helping me work on that. And she's been pushing me to put some cool stuff together. So that's coming. Not yet, but that is coming. Also, I will be working on a guide on how to close highly profitable maid service estimates. This will be a self-directed tiny little mini course all about how to close people, how to get those high paying clients to fill up your schedules. That is in the works as well. And later on in the year, there will be my first annual, it could turn into couple of times a year, but it will be my first annual in-person retreat up this way in the Boston area at the beach. I'm not really in Boston. I'm like 35-40 minutes outside of Boston. So it's going to be at my favorite place, Seabrook Beach. A lot of trainings in here that do not appear anywhere. If they don't appear in the Drop Them Up Accelerator program, they don't appear in private. They haven't appeared anywhere. So I've been working hard on that stuff in the back. So stay tuned in the group for all that new exciting stuff I'm working hard on for all of you to get you the results you need to grow and scale and get all the time freedom your little heart desires in your businesses and in your life, because you're all very deserving of it. You're all deserving of it. Every single person on this call is deserving of getting the time freedom and having a great life. So I hope this information was helpful for you tonight. Like I said, a lot of people have been talking to me about, oh, there's so many cleaners in my area, or I'm nervous, I'm scared. Go crush them. Go crush them. If you have any questions about how to crush them, you know who to come to. So please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. And I want you all to have a wonderful evening. Stay warm. I'm going to go put my sweatpants and my sweatshirt on, and I'm going to sleep like that tonight. All right. Stay warm and be safe. I will see you all next week. All right. Bye.